There comes a time in one's life where the shadows come to life and the line between reality and nightmare vanishes. It was the summer of 2019, and I was driving through the outskirts of a small town in Louisiana called Creole Springs. Creole Springs is known for its eerie bayous, haunting folktales, and the occasional carnival that passes through. It was Friday, the 13th of September, and I decided to make a pit stop at the carnival to stretch my legs. I arrived at dusk, the sky tinged with hues of purple and orange. The carnival was on the edge of town, right next to the bayou. It had a strange air to it, like something wasn't quite right. The first thing that caught my eye was the Ferris wheel, standing tall and proud, but silent and still. As I walked through the entrance, I was greeted by a man wearing a crooked top hat, his face painted like a sinister jester. His grin sent shivers down my spine. "Welcome to the creepy carnival," he said, the words dripping like molasses. "We've been expecting you." Despite the unease I carried on, I wandered through the carnival grounds, passing by carnival games and food stands, all seemingly abandoned. I was completely alone, or so I thought. My heart raced as I began to question my decision to come here. Suddenly, I stumbled upon a tent with the sign "Madame Ravena's Tarot Readings and Treat." I pulled back the velvet curtain and stepped inside. The air was heavy with incense, and the dimly lit room was adorned with trinkets and oddities. Madame Ravena herself was an enigmatic figure, draped in a shawl of midnight blue, her silver hair cascading down her back. "Ah, Mike," she said, her voice a husky whisper. "I've been waiting for you." Her eyes, deep pools of obsidian, seemed to bore into my very soul. I froze. How did she know my name? Was this some twisted joke? But I shook off my unease, trying to rationalize that maybe it was a trick. Maybe they had seen my name on my license plate or something. Ignoring the unease that twisted my stomach, I sat across from her, the cards spread out between us. As she began to flip them over, my blood ran cold. The cards told a story of my life and the danger that awaited me. I had a lot on my mind, but before I could ask for an explanation, her demeanor suddenly shifted. "The carnival holds secrets, Mike," she warned. "You must leave now." Her voice held a sense of urgency that sent a shiver down my spine. Already perplexed, I thanked her and rushed out of the tent, desperate to escape the carnival's eerie grasp. As I hurried through the grounds, the air grew thicker and shadows seemed to dance around me. The once still Ferris wheel began to creak and groan, its rusty frame coming to life. My heart pounded in my chest as I reached the entrance, only to find it blocked by the sinister jester from before. His grin was more menacing now, his eyes filled with malice. "You can't leave, Mike," he taunted. "You're part of the show now." With a surge of adrenaline, I pushed past him and sprinted to my car. As I peeled away from the carnival, I could hear the sound of sinister laughter echoing through the night. To this day, I can't shake the feeling that I narrowly escaped something truly sinister. It was October 31st, 2022, and my best friends, Sarah and Mike, along with myself, embarked on an unforgettable journey. Never would I have imagined the horror that awaited us at the abandoned carnival on the outskirts of our small town, Hollow Hills. We knew the place was off limits, but our curiosity led us there anyway. The carnival, once the heart of Hollow Hills, was now shrouded in darkness, a chilling atmosphere engulfing it like a phantom cloak. As we entered through the rusty gates, we were met with the smell of decaying memories. The laughter of children, once echoing through the air, was replaced by an eerie silence that gnawed at our souls. We stumbled upon a dilapidated carousel, its vibrant colors faded by the cruel hands of time. Sarah, ever the thrill-seeker, dared us to hop on. It creaked and groaned under our weight, but as the carousel jolted to life, our laughter rang through the air. Suddenly, the laughter stopped. A strange, sinister whisper crept into our ears, making our hearts skip a beat. The wind began to howl, casting shadows that danced menacingly around us. And then we saw him. The carnival's forgotten ringmaster stood before us, his face twisted with an evil grin. Mr. Holloway, as the town's folklore had dubbed him, had a presence that sent shivers down our spines. It was said that he'd vanished after the carnival's tragic demise decades ago, but here he was, in the flesh. "Welcome, dear guests," he hissed, his voice crawling like spiders across our skin. "Are you ready for a night you'll never forget?" Mr. Holloway's eyes gleamed with malevolence as he gestured towards the House of Mirrors, its entrance beckoning us like a snake's hypnotic gaze. Fear gripped us tightly, yet we couldn't resist the sinister pull. We stepped into the House of Mirrors, where a labyrinth of distorted reflections awaited us. Our distorted images mocked and taunted us, causing our hearts to race and our minds to unravel. Mike, who had remained eerily quiet, now began to panic. "Guys, let's get out of here," he pleaded, desperation lacing his voice. But it was too late. The mirrors had trapped us, their confusing maze weaving a prison from which we could not escape. We stumbled through the maze, our hearts pounding and our breaths shallow. The air was thick with malice, and we could feel Mr. Holloway's laughter echoing through the hallways, mocking our futile attempts at escape. Hours felt like days as we searched for an exit, but it seemed we were only spiraling deeper into this twisted nightmare. Finally, in a moment of sheer terror and desperation, Sarah found a door. We burst through it, only to be greeted by the horrifying sight of the abandoned carnival in shambles as if decades had passed since we'd first entered. We were exhausted, our clothes tattered and our faces streaked with tears. We stumbled back to the rusty gates, the weight of our experience heavy upon us. As we left the carnival behind, we heard one final, bone-chilling whisper from Mr. Holloway. "You'll never forget this night, and I'll never forget you." As I sit in this dimly lit room, reminiscing about that eerie night, the memories come flooding back like a tidal wave. It was October 16, 2022, when my life took a hair-raising turn. The small town of Fairhollow prepared for its annual carnival, attracting both local and tourists with its colorful lights and the thrilling promise of adventure. The carnival was a well-loved tradition in Fairhollow. My friends, Emma and Alex, were giddy with excitement as we approached the entrance. The air was crisp, filled with the scent of popcorn and cotton candy. Sounds of laughter and high-pitched screams echoed around us. Initially, everything seemed ordinary, almost mundane. We played games, enjoyed rides, and stuffed our faces with fried treats. But as night fell, an unsettling atmosphere began to creep in. Shadows lengthened, and the air grew colder. Emma, ever the superstitious one, claimed she felt a sinister presence watching us. I brushed off her concerns, chalking them up to her wild imagination. While wandering through the carnival, we stumbled upon an old, dilapidated tent on the outskirts. A sign above the entrance read, "Zara's House of Horrors." The tent appeared to have been abandoned for years, yet the flickering lights within beckoned us closer. "Let's check it out," Alex suggested with a mischievous grin. Emma hesitated. "Guys, I don't think this is a good idea." But our curiosity got the better of us, and we stepped inside, oblivious to the fate that awaited us. The tent was shrouded in darkness, save for a dimly lit path. As we ventured further in, the air grew heavy, and our hearts raced. The darkness seemed to swallow us, with each step sinking us deeper into its inky embrace. Soft, eerie whispers slithered through the shadows, their origins unknown. Along the path, we encountered a series of grotesque scenes, each more disturbing than the last. Mangled mannequins and eerie dolls with soulless eyes filled the rooms. We were no strangers to haunted houses, but there was something about Zara that felt chillingly real. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream echoed through the tent, and we froze in our tracks. The scream sounded so genuine that we exchanged worried glances. "Emma, this isn't funny," I whispered, my voice trembling. "I swear, it wasn't me," she insisted. With growing trepidation, we pressed on, determined to find the source of the scream. We navigated the winding path, the dread in our stomachs intensifying. It felt as if the tent was alive, shifting and breathing around us. Then, we entered a room adorned with mirrors, a hall of distorted reflections. As we stared into the glass, our faces twisted into grotesque shapes, our mouths stretched unnaturally wide, and our eyes hollow and lifeless. The sight sent shivers down our spines. Suddenly, a ghostly figure appeared in one of the mirrors, her face obscured by a dark veil. She raised a bony hand, beckoning us closer. Her voice was barely a whisper, yet it pierced the silence like a dagger. "You should not have come here," she hissed, her voice oozing malice. "Who are you?" Alex demanded, his voice cracking with fear. "I am the guardian of this place, the keeper of souls that have been trapped here," she replied, her voice echoing through the hall of mirrors. "You've trespassed into my domain, and now you must face the consequences." We exchanged terrified glances, realizing we were in grave danger. Desperate to escape, we sprinted through the tent, our hearts pounding in our ears. The air seemed to grow thicker, and our breaths ragged and labored. As we stumbled through the darkness, we encountered more horrors. The mannequins and dolls we'd seen earlier now seemed to come alive, their glassy eyes following our every move. They reached for us with gnarled hands, their twisted faces contorted in silent screams. We finally found the exit, but it was blocked by a massive iron gate, its cold bars refusing to budge. In the distance, we heard a burst of sinister laughter, taunting us. "You cannot escape," she snarled. "Your souls are mine." In a last-ditch effort, we searched for a way out. Frantically, we pulled at the gate, our fingers raw and bleeding. And then, just as we were about to give in to despair, we spotted a small keyhole in the gate's center. I rummaged through my pockets and miraculously found a rusty key I'd picked up earlier in the night, near the entrance of the tent. With trembling hands, I inserted the key and turned it. The gate groaned and creaked, slowly opening before us. We wasted no time in bursting through the exit, gasping for air as we stumbled into the carnival grounds. The once vibrant carnival now seemed sinister, a twisted playground of terror. We huddled together, fear coursing through our veins, and made our way back to the safety of our homes. We knew we had narrowly escaped a horrifying fate, and the memory of that night would haunt us forever. If you enjoyed this spine-tingling horror video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to stay updated with our latest content. And if you dare, leave a comment below with your thoughts on the video or any chilling experiences of your own. Thank you for watching.